Hi folks, Katie here, and if you haven't seen last week's video, this is a new thing I'm trying out, and I'm inviting guests on, and everything's just completely off the cuff, and we just try and get to know this person personally. So tonight's guest is the super duper Mac Murdoc. Hi Mac, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm really good. I'm doing really well. And
That's
look at
awesome.
you, you're looking all fresh and Californian. Oh,
Got
brilliant. Oh, I love it. I'm taking a screenshot of that.
my women of astronomy.
That is fantastic. Where did you get that?
When I worked at OPT and we came out with our women of astronomy video, we made t-shirts and sent them out to the girls, and thank you. Yeah, it was a fun personal project for sure.
Well, if you find a spare one, you know where to send it.
I honestly, I was hoping so badly to do one each year and just have different women on. Like, that would have been great.
See, that's one of the things I love about you. You promote so much about women in astronomy and in astrophotography. You've always done that since I joined your page a few years back. And it was always clear, you know, because there is still that stigma. And a lot of people get upset by it. Me personally, I don't, because there's guys like you out there, there's men out there like you that actually enjoy, you know, putting the women out there and going, no, you're just as good as the rest, get out there and do it. So kudos to you
for everyone.
Correct. That's
for everybody.
It's there, it's free. You know, well, it's no free when you have to buy all the equipment, but you know,
honestly, it's one of those things that, like, I think getting into any field that is mostly male dominated, I think is going to come with its own struggles. But I think, and I might be wrong, you would know better being a woman, but I would think that there are going to be more people that are supportive than not. But I feel like the people that aren't supportive are unfortunately the louder ones.
Yeah, well, you still get those Neanderthals, and you know, they like to pat the chest and let you know, but I'm thick-skinned, you know, I'm thick-skinned, and
no time for them.
No, and thankfully you've got, you know, like the communities and the organizations like Stella, you know, that help promote and get the females out there to say, you know, it's not a competition of men v women. It's there for everybody. Go out and do it, enjoy it, you know. The only person you've got to prove anything to is yourself. So
exactly
the way I see it. But here we go, Mac. I have got some questions for you.
All right, bring it on.
Okay, well, recently I saw on your timeline about Vipassana.
Yeah.
Am I saying that correct?
Vipassana.
Right. So that really struck me. That's a meditation retreat at the Joshua Tree. Yeah. Now, I had never heard of that before. So I did a little bit of research, went online, you know, did my nosy, and at one, Joshua Tree, what a location, you know, every astronomer's dream, especially if you don't stay in that area of California. But 10 days of no verbal contact, no vocal speaking at all for 10 days. I know most women would find that a struggle, but yeah, how do you think you're going to handle that?
Yeah, no speaking, no, you can't, you're not supposed to even look at each other. There's no like any sort of, you know, communication in any sort of way, and sometimes your just facial expressions can give that stuff off. No electricity, or like, you can't read a book, you can't,
Really?
they lock your cell phone away for 10 days and all sorts of whatever. So honestly, I think it's going to be, I think some aspects are going to be easy. Like, I feel like not talking to anybody for 10 days will probably be pretty easy, because I'm pretty introverted as it is.
You're chilled.
Yeah, but and it's weird that I go camping a lot, so being detached from social media would be easy too. However, I've not been camping for a while, and I'm on social media every day. So something tells me just being away from electronics is going to be pretty tough. But I'll tell you the reason why I got into it, though, and why like it became like
Yeah,
a
please
thing.
do.
I never heard about it until like January this year,
Right.
and I have bad sleeping issues. When I go to bed at night, it's like a tornado of thoughts and voices and everything that I've ever thought about, or want to think about, or future thoughts. It's all going on in my head, and it's all blurred together to the point where I can't pick things out and like deal with them. And so my friend recommended to me to do meditation and learn how to just focus on one thing, and that might help me go to bed. And I suck at meditation. I really do. I'm the kind of guy that like will sit down and I'll really try, and I'll just start fidgeting, and I'll start thinking about something, and I got a song playing in my head. And so he told me about Vipassana and said to go in to sign up for it. And there's no way that you can do meditation for 9 hours a day for 10 days without all the other distractions of everything that's going on, that like it's clear that I'll come out better than I was when I went in with all that practice, and also, you know, guidance kind of thing. So I'm hoping, my idea is to come out with an easier way to be able to sleep, but I also know that it's probably going to come with a lot more than that. I'm just trying not to put outcome expectations on. I know it's so different for everyone. Some people, it changes their whole life and their way of viewing the world, and some people it's just like small little things that it helps out. So I'm just going to go in and do my very best to have the best outcome, and whatever outcome that is, that's what I get.
I think it's honestly, I think it's amazing what you're going to be doing. And I hope, when you do come out from that, one, that your sleep pattern is a lot better. Two, I'm hoping you'll do like a blog or something on it and let us know the whole experience while you were there. Because I keep thinking, is it something like Eat, Pray, Love? The Julia Roberts movie. I'm like, is it going to be like that, where, they walk about with the, I can't speak, and as you said, no facial expressions, no nothing to give anything away. And you're going to be secluded a lot of the times, just with your own thoughts in your head. And personally, just the thought of not being able to speak to anyone, I know that within 5 minutes of being there, that would kill me. I'd be thrown out.
But see, when you think about it, though, sometimes speaking in itself is a distraction from something, and doing anything can sometimes be a distraction from something. And I think humans in general are so good at distracting themselves from other things, whether or not that's important things or not important things. It's like, okay, we're going to do this, but then we're also going to do this and this and this, and it's always another distraction from whatever else it was. And I've heard stories of like the most beefiest men that just bawl out and cry, and it's when you have no distractions and you're really forced to like,
Get to know
be
yourself.
in your own head, then you start realizing all the things that you've kind of suppressed over your whole life. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's without those distractions, it can be a pretty emotional thing. So
Um, I am stoked for you. Honestly, I am. And I think it's going to be an amazing experience, you know. Um, as I say, just please do a blog or something on it so that we
oh,
know how this all, comes to
I'll definitely
fruition for you.
I'm
Because
definitely
there will be people like me that are curious, and like, what did it give you the comfort that you needed? Did you get the revelations? Because as you say, you're going to be stuck in your own head a lot, a lot of the time that you're there. And I know that it states on their website that when you can make friends once you leave there, you can contact people once you leave there, but while you're there, no contact whatsoever. So
yeah.
that would be strange, but I think it'll be curious. There's a lot of people out there will be curious about that.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
for anybody that might be interested, these things happen all over the world. Like
Yeah.
there's Vipassana centers all over, and it's free.
Wow.
Um,
So it is
they give
free.
you they feed you. It's all vegetarian because the place is kind of run by monks, but like,
Yeah.
and it's a very Buddhist thing. So, but it's free, but it's also donation based, and they don't allow you to donate unless you finish the 10 days. So after you finish the 10 days, if you feel that you want to donate, then you can donate, or you don't have to donate, but you can donate your time, like be
Yeah.
help with cooks and serving food
Volunteer.
for the next group. And so yeah, might be worth it to check out if that's what
That
anyone
is
wants to do.
fabulous. Wow.
You and the ladies have to come out to Joshua Tree.
Do you know, I would love that. I would love that. I see so many astro images, and obviously I've seen your images when you've been out and about, and I'm like, this is just nuts over there, especially the rock formations and everything. It's
Yeah.
just, but then again, it's the same for people that say, oh, I would love to come to where you are because you've got all these scenic mountains and lochs and lush green. So it's the usual, you want what you don't have type thing.
Yeah.
But
It's very true.
I have got more questions for you.
Go
Now,
for it.
I'm going back a few years ago, and I remember seeing you post up because, how can I put it? Your life is very varied and interesting, for sure. And the post that was catching my eye at the time was you were on stilts. How did that come about? And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like 20 feet tall.
Yeah. So I worked at Universal Studios for 10 years. And
Next question.
huh?
That's my next question.
Uh, and there's a few performance roles in the park that are stilt walkers. Um, don't want to kill it for anybody, so I'm not going to mention which ones, but I'm sure when you're there, you can easily figure it out. But they're stilt walkers, and they get paid a lot of money to do so. And so originally, when I thought about doing stilt walking, it was really just because I wanted something that made more money.
Yeah.
And something that was a little bit different than what I was doing. And then I started stilt walking, I want to say 2014.
Wow.
2014 or 2015. And I just loved it right away, that it became a lot more than just a money thing. It became like I'm really enjoying this, and I'm enjoying being able to like entertain people. And like if you're at a party or something like that and you're a 10-11 foot thing, it's like everybody wants a picture. You could like play and dance with kids and all these
Yeah.
things. And So it just became a thing, and I just got many roles over the years. And every party is a different thing that you get hired for. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
a
fun.
different theme and what have you. And no, it just these are the things that that captured my eye, and I thought, no, I want to find out more about this guy because he's got all these interesting things going on in his life. He's always so busy, and as I say, I started obviously reading your profile. I mean, God, what, 3-4 years ago now, and just seeing the progression. I mean, one, you're a musician, and you're a big fan of Linkin Park, and that was amazing. By the way, that they saw your rendition of
Yeah.
Lost, and I'm like, wow, well done. And the fact that they highlighted it on their Insta and everything, fantastic.
That's I
Done.
think that's definitely the highlight of the year so far, to be honest. Like a band that's been like your favorite for like, your whole life almost. And it's just like that happened. It's still
Yeah.
pretty surreal.
Oh, I can only imagine, and I was happy for you. Now you play guitar. You see you online all the time playing guitar, some amazing tunes. And I thought, God, is there anything this guy doesn't do? You like
I
to keep
can't
yourself busy.
juggle.
You
I
can't
can't
juggle.
juggle. I can't
Mhm.
sing, and I can't dance.
Oh, everybody can dance. You just move your feet and wave your arms.
No, I look like a seizure victim. Like I can't. I have no here's the weirdest thing. So I'll give you a really quick story. So when I was in college, I was dating somebody who was a dancer, and she wanted to go out dancing all the time. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the good boyfriend thing to do because I can't dance, and I'm going to take a few dance classes. So,
Wow.
so that I could go out with her and not embarrass her. And so and she was doing hip hop dance. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take hip hop dance. So I took 2 years of hip hop dance. And at the end of those 2 years, our teacher, which was the same teacher for both years, sits us in this giant circle and says, guys, uh, this was my last year teaching here. So I'm going to give you some wise words of wisdom.
Right.
So he was like, Katie, you were absolutely amazing. Keep your heart up. Jonathan, your heart's there and you just need a little bit of practice. And then they got to me and it was like, Mac, you're the epitome of white boy dancing with two left feet. So I decided that dancing was not something for me. I took choir and introductory voice for 4 years in college because I was a music major.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it was just like I still couldn't sing. And then juggling, I just kept trying to juggle and I just could never pick it up. And so I've realized that there are some things
That
some
you can't
people
do.
just can't do. I mean, I still sing because I love to. It's still
Yeah.
fun. I'll
Why
still go
not?
on the dance floor and look like an idiot, but I can't dance.
Oh,
So
well, as I say, the fact that you even attempt it, that speaks volumes for your character. So well done, you. Because a lot of guys just refuse, partners just refuse and say, no, I've got two left feet. I'm not doing this. And no, I'm not going to make a fool of myself. But,
yeah.
a lot of women actually find it endearing that somebody would even attempt it because it's taking them out their comfort zone.
Yeah. Very much
So,
so.
and I respect that. I truly, truly respect that because it was something I always wanted to be, was a professional dancer. And I went for a TV interview with a dance group and I bottled it. I just couldn't do it. Like, no. So, respect to you for even going out and trying. So that's what happens.
Especially being a woman, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't know what it's like being a woman, but going into something that is again male or dominated, like what we originally talked about, could be
Yeah,
scary. It could
yeah,
be intimidating. I
course.
totally understand that. Like, and so, but just like what you did, it's like sometimes you just gotta say screw it and you just do it because you love it and you don't care what anyone else thinks. And normally when people do that, the road is a lot easier and more peaceful than you thought it would be.
Definitely. And as I say, when you give up wondering what other people are thinking, you enjoy things more.
Exactly.
You know,
You do it for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it comes with age and experience as well, you know, like I found that over the years, you know, like especially when kids are at school, peer pressure, big thing, you know, trying to, you know, copy your peers. And you get to the stage, and I always say to them now, see, when you leave school, that won't matter. It's not the be all and end all that you think it is. So once you get into your adult years, it won't matter. Do what you want, do what you enjoy doing. That's what life's all about, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Take your risks, enjoy
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So hold on, I can't see a thing without my glasses. So I noticed here as well that you're a NASA social ambassador. What does that
Yeah.
entail? What does that actually mean? And what do you actually do as a NASA social ambassador?
So it sounds a lot more prestigious than it is.
Yeah,
It,
it does sound cool though.
yeah. So when JPL has because that's the one closest to me.
Yeah.
I live maybe 25 minutes away. So
Okay.
whenever something big is happening, they have NASA social ambassadors come down, learn it straight from the people that are in charge of whatever it is. Like my very first one that I did was called Moon to Mars, and it was basically us going back to the moon, building a base on the moon, building Gateway, which is our second like space station.
Yeah.
And you basically learn it straight from NASA, straight from the people who are in charge of this whole thing, and you get to learn all the different parts and pieces. um, and and your whole kind of job in a way is to be able to relay that information out to other people, where it's because things get skewed all the time over, you know, the internet and Fox or CNN or all the other like news outlets. It's like things get really skewed. I mean, like the one that's going on right now, which I posted about, it's like the alien mothership and stuff like that. I was like, no. So yeah, my whole job is basically to learn about what's really happening with space and with NASA, and then be able to articulate that out to other people so that they know that they're getting like real information from a real place that heard it from the horse's mouth.
The
So
horse's mouth. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, actually. You know, anything with the word NASA in it has to be cool, you know,
yeah.
especially for folk like us that, you know, like revere astronomy.
Yeah, I personally absolutely love it, and the experiences that I've had was great. I got to watch the Perseverance rover getting built and see different like stages on which each piece was getting built, like with my own eyes. And I think just knowing that something that I was maybe, I don't know, 75 feet away from, and like looking at it when it was kind of in its baby stages, now rolling around on a whole different planet. Like just knowing these things, I think are like, it makes the whole experience worth it.
Oh, definitely. As I say, you lead such an exciting life. It's just crazy. I love it. I do love it. Now, the other thing I saw on your profile was you were a production assistant at Universal, but you were also, what was that, a scare actor?
Yeah. So I did three different things at Universal. I was a production assistant, so I worked on all the shows as well as I worked with all the characters in the park, but I was also a costume character. So
Right.
I got in my little costumes and did my thing, but also I was a scare actor, which was like during Halloween time, we've got this big event called Halloween Horror Nights. And
Right.
they've got like 9 mazes and a bunch of streets that are like filled with monsters. And so I would have my character each year and I would dress up as that character. I would channel that character and then just go out and terrorize as many people as humanly know possible.
Lord.
It was,
Traumatizing kids.
oh, if they were in the park, they were fair game. Yeah.
Oh, see, I would have freaked out.
And it is let me tell you this, like, and this sounds super sadistic as hell, but hearing people's screams become like music to your ears, like it is the most beautiful thing in the world. And it's terrible, but it's like, well, one, you know that they paid to be there and to get scared. So one, if you hear a scream, that's validation that you gave them what they're asking for. But two, from a personal point of view, and this is going to sound really messed up, but it's like, it's a thing, is I'm normally like a really chill dude. Like I don't really get upset at things, like, or get mad, but that doesn't mean that things don't upset me, if that makes sense.
Of course.
And so, you know, you suppress a lot of it. And then during Halloween Horror Nights, when you become this demon, this monster, it's like, in my head, it's like I have to channel that. I have to get that out. And so when I'm on the field actually running at people or taking your baseball bat and swinging it at people, like obviously you're not actually hitting anybody, but in your head, you're like so raging and you're letting all this, the anger and hate and stuff that you've like suppressed out in a healthy way. And it's so by the end of the whole 2-month run of doing this, it's like you really feel free. You feel like you've just let out every little bit of like negativity in your life. And it is the most therapeutic thing that I normally look forward to every year for the last 10 years.
Wow, that is, I can't even think of anything that is similar here, not even in the theme parks.
You guys don't have like a haunt event where you can go through like haunted mazes and stuff?
We do have like Halloween events and you get your haunted houses, and obviously living here in Scotland, there's castles everywhere. You throw a stone, you will hit a castle. So there's usually maybe the kind of, like person that would say, right, we're going to have this event where we're taking you through like Edinburgh and down to Edinburgh jail. And that's really creepy because a lot of inmates died there back in Victorian times, things like that. And
got history.
And according to the majority, it's haunted. So people go there and pay to get terrified. And I'm like, I'm just a big scaredy cat. I'm like, no. Oh, no.
Do you like
too often for to be scared out my wits?
Do you like scary movies at all?
I used to watch them as a teenager, and then strangely enough, I went to see The Exorcist. I was underage and I got into the movie theater, and since that day I haven't been able to. Do you know, I can't even listen to Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. I freak when I hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I literally get goosebumps when I hear Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells because it traumatized me. It really traumatized me. I mean, I like movies like Final Destination and things like that, where it's just Hollywood. But if I watch a movie and it comes up at the end saying based on a true story, my head just goes crazy and I'm like, oh, and panic sets in.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm just not a big horror movie lover. I'll stay away from all that. I'm just
That's fair.
big
They're
scared,
not for everybody.
you know. And I've done what other people said before, turn the volume off, mute it and watch it and see how you feel. And yeah, it's some of the scenes I was laughing at it. But the minute you put that music on, it just creeps up and grabs you. So
Yeah.
no, I just tend to go, no.
I went to college for music scoring for traditional. I wanted to learn to write for orchestras and film score. And something you've learned in studying all that is, at least for me personally, is other movies can sometimes get away without music.
Yeah.
I mean, music plays a huge part in film.
Definitely.
And a lot of people don't realize that, but it's like sometimes if you were to take out music that you don't even think about in it, then it's like it becomes a whole different film. The emotion to the whole film becomes a different idea. And something I personally realized was that horror movies aren't horror movies without music.
Music.
Like that, or just like, or even just ambient sounds, or things like that. If you were to take all that out, it's no longer a horror movie. It's like if you have a drama without music or without the sound effects, then it's still really a drama. But horror, it's like you rely on the audio aspect of it so much to be able to make it what it is.
Of course. It makes you feel, I mean, you feel the build up. When it's a horror movie, you feel that build up of the dum, 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 and it's the same, like one of my favorite scores in movies is Dances with Wolves. The music all through that is just fantastic, and there's certain melodies in it, and you think, oh, it's a good scene, it's a nice scene. But then there's the ones where the carnage begins and the music gets up a bit stronger and it's pulling at your heartstrings. And that's what music does to me. I've grown up with music all my life, and to this day, I know people will laugh at me, but I am the biggest Elvis fan on the planet. Elvis, oh yeah, he's still king. But in saying that, I have a very wide range of tastes in music. It's whatever attracts my ear, I will listen to, The only thing I won't listen to is music with chipmunk sounds in it. That just freaks me out, when the DJs speed things up and it sounds like chipmunks.
Yeah. So no Alvin and the Chipmunks for you.
No, not for me. Not for me, I'm afraid. No.
No, I feel you though.
But there we go. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, apart from being an astrophotographer, you're also a fabulous photographer. Like I follow obviously your light painting, and I have friends where I go out and do light painting as well, as I've showed you some images before, and it's great fun. It's absolutely great fun. But what I loved the other day was you posted up where you're getting out of your comfort zone, and it's like photo manipulation, the girl with the hummingbird. See, I love all that kind of stuff. I love when people use their creative mind, and that's exactly what you do. So you want to tell us a wee bit more about why that's now coming out?
Yeah. So that one in particular was like a personal project I wanted to do for somebody that I dated. Her grandmother was really into hummingbirds, and I believe she wanted to get a hummingbird tattoo at one point to like symbolize that of the grandmother, but also it's like the meaning of the hummingbird in general. And so I did not really let her know what I was doing at the time. I just asked her to be a model and sit down, and I put the light on her where I wanted the glow of the hummingbird to like affect her face. And so I took the image, and then I went in and just did my thing and made it this beautiful glowing hummingbird that kind of symbolized her grandmother. And she gets to have a, you know, not a conversation, but like a mental conversation with the hummingbird. So that was a thing. But you know, after that, it was just like it became this whole thing of when you really become to photo manipulations and, you know, kind of dreamy escape things, then anything is possible.
Oh,
You know, with
definitely.
astrophotography, you definitely have like a set of boundaries and things that you can do and can't do. Light painting, you get a lot more freedom, where anything that you can think about, you can create if you just know the tools and how to create it and what gives you what texture, the different versions of light, whether you need something like, you know, if you have the knowledge of being able to create, then you can do that. But with like online photo manipulations and stuff like that, it's like really you're only limited by your own like
imagination.
creativity.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think that in itself is a pretty beautiful thing, and it's very freeing. Like if you've got an image that you want in your mind that you know that you can't do for, you know, via astrophotography or light painting, then you can just create it in Photoshop. And I think that's cool.
Definitely. I mean, I used to go out with friends quite often a few years ago, just before COVID, and we would go out and do light painting. We'd make up our own toys for it, you know, with little LED lights and things, and tape them on sticks. And the same with wire wool spinning and just anything that you could use that would look good when you do a long exposure of it in the dark. And some of the people online that you see, I think it's like Eric Lapart. Oh my gosh, his light paintings just, it's on another level, you know. And a friend of mine's does similar, and it just blows my mind, you know, like taking a bicycle wheel and filling it up with little lights and then doing the orbs and
The little orbs.
and that's how I laughed when I seen you saying I used to hate orbs until, and I thought, yeah, it's, and you know, I find them actually really enjoyable. So it just,
There's so many people that are just so creative. Eric is like, his idea of composition is phenomenal. His whole thing is phenomenal. And the fact that I'm not exactly sure if he created that style.
no,
Part of me wouldn't be surprised. Because like I've followed him for years, and that I've like before I ever saw anyone else do it. So he could have been, but he really made it his. And I think that is beautiful. And then his wife Kim, she knows exactly what to do, and I think it's cool. And it's weird because there's a part of me that always wanted to see him do something different. Like as a light painter, I feel like it is very, very repetitive. But on the other hand, there's a side of me that's like, you're really good at this. And I'm still not tired of every image that you post. Like it still blows me away every time. So it's like this mix and match of like, I'd love to see you do like so many other things, but then I feel like I'd feel weird if you didn't. So it's, you know,
that is fantastic, I must admit. And you know, that's one of the reasons I followed you, because you weren't just doing astrophotography, you were doing what you enjoyed with general photography as well. And that appeals to me, because that's how I started out. And I appreciate it when people post interesting, you know, creative photos and make them their own, put their own personal touches to it. So I just love all that. And I really do mean this for the bottom of my heart, Mac. I think you're one of the most interesting people I know in the astronomy field, just through that community. You know, I enjoy watching your Facebook, and when you post things on social media, it'll pop up on my page and I automatically go to see what you're doing. Not just because I'm a female and I'm a nosy person, you know, 90% of it is nosiness, but it's also good to see, you know, what other people do on a personal level, you know, and it makes them interesting and it makes them fun to know and want to be around. You know, you're a positive guy, and I like that. I like that. You bring positivity to the pages. So
Thank you.
kudos.
I really appreciate. I'm not gonna lie, you made me kind of emotional there for a minute.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
No, it was beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And honestly, the feeling is so beyond mutual. And I love what you and all the other Stella girls are doing. And you know, you're making it a safer place for so many others, but also you're inspiring both men and women and kids and adults. And I think, you know, it's I know I ranted about this earlier. It's like, you know, I got my start from a guy named Chris. Chris got his start from someone else. And it's like that someone else probably inspired 30, 50, 100 people. And Chris was just one of them. And then Chris inspired way more than I ever have, because he's absolutely phenomenal. But I was one of his that was inspired by him. And then I got to do the same for others, and then others got to do the same for others. And it's just this giant positivity loop. And we never really know or understand the ripple effect of how many people we actually like make a difference for. And I think you girls and Stella are like you can really notice the huge positivity bubble that comes from this. And it's not just in women either. Like, you guys inspire me, you guys inspire so many others. Like, I see people posting about you guys every day. And and I think it's a beautiful thing. You guys are literally changing the world. And
Well,
that's,
you know what? See if
we all do our part.
if we can change just one person's negative attitude into a positive one, job done, you know, job done. So, Mac, I can't thank you enough for coming on here and letting me be nosy and delve into your personal life. You know, I truly am grateful for that, for letting me do that. So thank you so much just for being you and for coming on the show tonight and, you know, just opening up to us all.
The honor and pleasure is all mine, and I will be glad to chat or talk on camera, off camera, anytime with you.
Well, folks, I'm going to speak to Mac off camera, but I hope you enjoyed this. And as I say, there'll be other guests as well. But Mac, thank you so much, so much for doing this. Okay, thanks, folks. Thanks for watching. And if you like this, please hit the subscribe button and leave a wee comment and let me know what you think. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I've lost my glasses. I can't turn the recording off.